one day I'm going to time that just right for the countdown to go right when we're ready, right when we start. But anyhow, it's another edition of Folks Talking Sports. I'm the host, Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Joining me right now is the youngster, the young lion of the group, Andy Yanez. Hey man, you don't have your Pawd, Slama, Jama or your community impact newspaper up there, man. Let folks know who you are, man.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit when I try to add it on.
What all? Well, not all of it, man. Just one at a time, man, or something like that, man. Just let folks know who you are, because I'll do my part here in just a second once I figure out what I'm doing here, um, with our Twitter stuff and things like that. But yeah, all right, man. Is there anything on your mind you want to start? Because we're going to be joined hopefully in a few minutes. I remember this. Will Gibson was doing some. I think the Browns were playing today, and he was probably doing some post game stuff. And once that's finished, he's going to be able to join us. And then in roughly 45 minutes or so, Kim Davis from Chalk Talk, she'll join us as well to talk Texans, Rockets, local teams, all that good stuff. She's been around. She's one of the people I've looked up to for years. So get her on the show. She's one of the first, shouldn't tell her bio, but she's one of the first African American people to have a sports TV show in Houston many moons
Wow.
ago. So we've kept in touch all these years. But yeah, she does a great thing with Chalk Talk. You and I were talking off before we got started about Dejan Jarreau and then the surprising news there. Talk about Dejan and the Coogs, and then we're going to pick your brain on the Rockets' 82 game schedule, and you keep track. I'm going to toss them out, and we're going to do wins and losses as of August 22nd.
Yeah, we mentioned how we were kind of surprised based off of what Dejan Jarreau had been able to show in the summer league. And again, it's a report. I haven't seen the absolute confirmation or any details on the contract, but based off what Dejan Jarreau had been able to do in the summer league for the Heat. I mean, he had 2 games where he had near triple doubles. I think he did have a double double in one of the games. I think it was a 14.10 rebound double double. But I'm a bit shocked that the Heat let him go and didn't even extend. If it is true that they let him go and don't extend at least a 2-way deal, or I think there was also I saw a rumor of an Exhibit 10 deal, which is basically a non-guaranteed type of deal. But I mean, I think Indiana is a much more interesting place just considering on where they are. They're not necessarily in a chase for a championship now mode as the Heat would be in. So maybe they're sellers at the trade deadline if things don't go right for them, and possibly we're best case scenario. Dejan sees some playing time at the end of the season, but I was surprised in total. What were your thoughts?
I was surprised. One of my friends sent it to me, and Scott Agnes from Fieldhouse Files, he's a reporter for the Pacers, covers the Pacers, reported Saturday that Indiana is going to sign Dejan to a 2-way contract, which basically he can practice with the Pacers and participate in as much as 50 games in the NBA with the Pacers this season, and more time being in the G League, but maximum 50 games with the Pacers with the big team. But yeah, based on what Coach Sampson had told us last month about how much the Heat really wanted Dejan and were looking into buying out, getting a second round pick in the draft to select Dejan. I wonder, and I have not reached out to Deke, and I'll hopefully get a chance to do that to see if he can, comment on it, because I have not received any. The Pacers have not sent out a press release about it yet, announcing it, and they are pretty good about sending out press releases about transactions, coaches, players, etc. So they haven't done anything about that yet. So not questioning Scott Agnes and his reporting, just hasn't happened yet. It's not official yet. But hopefully, you and I with our Cougar contacts can maybe reach out to Dejan and to see, because has he tweeted out anything about it? If he hasn't, it's
No,
probably not official yet. So, and he probably can't do
actually.
anything. So, but Indiana, as opposed to Miami, in terms of fit, uh, I mean, as you stated, Miami's more in a win championship now mode. I think Indiana's more in a get to the playoffs mode. Um, I mean, I think Dejan he's gonna have to spend time in the G League either way, and I think he and his agent representation did what was best for him. And it could have been a case of Miami was waiting on another personnel move before they signed Dejan to the two-way deal. And then swooped in and said, hey, man, we got a spot for you. We believe in you too. We want to give you a two-way contract. Because that's one thing, he was undrafted. So Miami didn't have really any ties to him to keep other teams from doing this, signing him, as opposed to like a second-round pick, for example, give my Detroit Pistons example, Luka Garza. As a second-round pick, Detroit had his rights because they drafted him in the second round. And ultimately, they signed him to a two-way contract. So they didn't give teams a chance to sign him based on how Luka did in Summer League. So Miami, for whatever reason, maybe Ira Winderman, beat writer for the Miami Sentinel, will have more details on this tomorrow or Tuesday about why Miami did not sign Dejan to a deal, because he was reporting it as well last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday based on how Dejan was doing so far in Vegas, how he had done in Vegas. So maybe there's a reason for it. But once it's official, good luck to Dejan and his pursuit of the NBA. Two-way contract is a great way to be in the league, great way to get some time with the NBA team, but also develop in the G League, get some more minutes in the G League. So good luck to him. And we'll keep following him, keep tracking of his career throughout. But now, young man, you tweeted this to me, and I tweeted back to you that I already did the Rockets schedule on my website, HoustonRoundballReview.com. All right. Regular season, Rockets tip it off, and you keep a tally over there on your computer, your phone, pen and pad, pencil and pad, whatever. But the Rockets will begin the season, regular season, October 20th. We're going month by month. First up, at Minnesota. Win or loss. And Rocket fans, if you're tuning in on the Houston Roundball, the YouTube channel, I'm sure you're going to have some comments on what we're about to say. So chime in, feel free.
At Minnesota, road home opener. I say Rockets can pull it out. I think they can start 1-0.
Okay. I disagree, because I'm going to be different. A lot of this be contrarian, but also because it's Minnesota's home opener. I think Cat, Karl-Anthony Towns, and D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards, I think they want to get off on a good foot, kind of thing like that. But keep in mind, we're doing this August 22nd. So we're almost 2 months away. So injuries may happen.
John Wall still on the roster.
All kinds of stuff may happen between now and October. We'll do this again probably in October, see if anything changes. Okay, so you got them 1-0. I got them 0-1. Next, Oklahoma City, home game here in Houston, Friday, 7 p.m., October 22nd.
I got that as a win for the Rockets as well.
I do too.
2-0 start for me.
So 1-1 for me. Next, Sunday, October 24th. This was on NBA TV. And if I don't say the network, it's the local Houston affiliate, AT&T Sports Network. If I do mention it, it's only like 3 or 4 times when it's not just AT&T Sportsnet. So you can see that the Rockets are not yet national media darlings with this group, folks. They only have one ESPN game, and we'll get to that shortly. As of right now, because I think the NBA and its TV partners have done some more flex scheduling to allow possible better matchups as the season progresses for the national broadcast. All right. Sunday, October 24th, home against the Celtics, 6 p.m.
Yeah, I don't see how they could pull that one out early in the season. Boston, I imagine, should be healthy. I think they lose that one.
Okay, so I agree. Loss. All right. Are you keeping track of this?
Yeah, you have them 1-2. I have them 2-1.
Okay. Tuesday, 26th of October at Dallas.
I have that as a loss as well. I know they were able to beat the Mavericks a couple of times this past season, but I don't see that happening. I think it'll be much different.
Agreed. Loss. All right. October 28th, Thursday, 7 p.m. at home versus Utah.
I have that as a loss as well. I think Utah Jazz are a bit of a tough matchup against this version of the Rockets. And really, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell will be a great, based off what we saw this past season, how the Rockets struggled defensively. I think it'll be tough for the Rockets to be able to stop that duo, and they'll have Mike Conley healthy. I'd imagine early in the season, not much of an aches yet, so I have them losing that game.
Agreed. Okay, and while we're doing this, we're now looking at the opponent's schedule. So we don't know if these teams are coming face the Rockets off a back-to-back, off a road trip, long trip, whatever kind of things. So this is just, as we're doing it right now, going down the schedule, the Rockets schedule. Halloween, close out the month of October. At the Lakers, 9:30 p.m.
A bit of a kind of a playoff schedule there with 2 back-to-back games with the Lakers. Not to get ahead of myself, but you know what? I'm gonna say they split one of those two. Early in the season, the Lakers trying to figure out a whole new team. I could see them splitting those 2 games against the Lakers early on.
Okay. All right. Which one? Did they get the one in October on Halloween?
I'll say they finish off the month of October with a win.
Okay,
the Lakers are a little too overconfident.
Okay. I got them with a loss, so that's 1-5 for me.
Jeez. I have them at 3, and you have them 1-5. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay. As you touched on it, it's like a baseball trip. Because the next game, November 2nd, also in LA at the Lakers. So will they lose both of them, split? In your case, win both of them.
Oh no, I had them splitting. So if they win on Halloween, I have them losing the second game.
All right. Coach Silas said last year that it was hard to beat a team 2 times in a row because adjustments will be made, so on and so forth. That's true. Still picking the Lakers. So Rockets are 1-6. All right. November 4th, Thursday at Phoenix.
Against the reigning Western Conference champions, I think that's a loss.
All right. I agree.
I have them 3-5.
All right. So I got them at 1-7, right? So yeah. Okay. All right. Next, this is all part of the road trip. This is good, folks. This is how the Rockets schedule starts. November 6th at Denver.
I have that.
Early start, afternoon start. They got a few of those on the schedule this year. Kind of strange.
Yep. Early start, just 2 games difference between Phoenix or 2-day difference between traveling Phoenix up to Denver and that altitude. I have them losing that game too.
I do as well. So that's another loss. All right,
3-7 for me.
Will is joining us now. We're going over the Rocket schedule as of today, making predictions. So we are where are we at, Andy? How many games in?
November 6th at Denver.
We're 9 in. We're 9 in. I got them at 1-8, and Andy has them at 3-6.
Wow.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. November 7th, last game of the road trip at Golden State.
Ooh, at the end of the road trip, I see that as a loss too. That's the last team you want to play when you're fatigued, trying to chase around Steph Curry, all those screens. I have them losing that game too.
Agreed. All right. I think a 1-9 start is probably unlikely, but that's how I got things so far. But okay.
Yeah, that's a really tough road trip to start.
Yeah.
They're playing.
Let's see, out of the first 10 games, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 7? Is that right? 7 road games? Or is it 8? 7? At Minnesota, at Dallas. Yeah, 7. Yeah.
7 road games. And
all right.
That's easy peasy.
And 8 of those 10 games are against playoff teams.
Right, Will? Those are all losses, right?
Yeah, that's easy, though. That's an easy start. Can I tell you another one?
Okay, next. All right, well, go, Will. You keep track of yours. Let me go back to October for you. Okay.
Well,
first up, Rockets at Minnesota to start the season, October 20th.
Oh, that's Minnesota.
Okay.
That's Minnesota.
And what's your point?
Say again.
What's your point?
What's my point?
Yeah.
The Minnesota wins that game.
Rockets? Okay.
Say again.
That's what I said too. Rockets gonna lose that game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Minnesota. Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Oklahoma City. Home for Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Okay. Home opener.
Yep.
Home opener for the Rockets.
All right. I'll give them that. That's right. That's Houston.
Okay, that's what I did. All right. Next, home for Boston on Sunday, October 24th.
Okay. Next. Okay. That's Boston.
Okay. That's an L.
Well, right? All three of us agreed on that.
Okay. Then next Tuesday at Dallas.
Dallas.
Okay. Thursday, home versus Utah.
Utah.
Okay. Then close out the month of October. Sunday, Halloween at the Lakers.
Okay. That's scary. Halloween, that's appropriate.
So you got them 1-5 in. You're 1-5 like me.
Yep.
Okay. Starting November 2nd at the Lakers. It's part of the baseball kind of thing they'd be doing with keeping kind of reduced travel. 2 games in a row in the same city.
Yep.
Lakers.
Yep.
All right. At Phoenix, November 4th.
Phoenix.
All right. November 6th at Denver.
Denver.
All right. Then catch you up where we're right now at Golden State. Sunday. Close out the road trip.
Without Clay, Golden State.
Okay. So you and me have them 1-9.
What games did Andy have them winning? I'm curious.
Minnesota.
I had Minnesota, Oklahoma City, and I'd see they could steal one of those 2 Laker games.
Wow, that's very
optimistic, but it's early. Like, wait, hear me out. Early in the season, Lakers trying to fit in new pieces. I could see it happening.
Yeah, fit in. Okay.
It's the NBA. Well, any given night.
True, and keep in mind, this is August 22nd, so we're going to do this again in October before the season starts. Kay doesn't agree with us as he chimes in on YouTube, but with me and Will, that is 1-9. Okay, so far
3-7.
This is the Rockets' 1 game on ESPN, November 10th, Wednesday, versus Detroit, home game versus Detroit.
I got the Rockets winning that just because it's at Toyota Center.
I got them. I'm gonna pick the Rockets. See, I can be objective. Okay, because it's a home game. They'll have 2 days off from the 5-game road trip. If it were like the day before, like November 9th, and just a travel day of rest, I think that 1 day of practice will help them. And we know Jalen Green's going to try to go off, prove a point. So I'll pick the Rockets. In their what is that? That'll have been an 8-game losing streak. So, yeah, I'll pick the Rockets right there. Will?
To your last point, because Jalen Green is going to try to go off, I pick Detroit.
Okay.
I pick Detroit.
That's fair, Andy. So, all right. And keep in mind, we don't know. I don't know if the Pistons are coming in, playing on November 9th, if the game be a back-to-back for them. Don't know any of that stuff. Okay, whatever. But we're just going down the Rocket schedule right now. Okay. Next, Friday, November 12th, home versus Portland.
Dang.
Oof. Yeah, I'd have to say.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, yeah, I agree. I feel Portland takes that one.
Okay. Next, Sunday, 14th November, home, Phoenix.
I'd say it's a home game Sunday. I'll give it to Phoenix. But I think it'll be a competitive game.
We ain't talking about competitive, Andy. Right now we're doing W's and L's, man. W's and L's. Okay. All right. Will shaking his head. That's an L.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Looks like we got the Rockets.
Another road trip.
But this team made the playoffs at Memphis. Second night of back-to-back. Sunday, Phoenix. Monday at Memphis.
It's a tough back-to-back. I have that as a loss.
All right. Will?
I also have it as a loss.
Okay. I think next we got the team the Rockets should beat. Wednesday at OKC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll go with them winning that game.
Okay, Will?
I do it. I'll do okay. I'll do Houston win.
Okay, I got him as well with a W there. But the next two, I'm telling you right now, no. All right, Saturday at the Knicks, 4 o'clock, Houston time.
Yeah, I have to see that. I don't see them winning that game. Off already the third game in the road trip. Knicks playoff team. Love to push the pace. I feel like Rockets lose.
Will?
Yeah, I picked the Knicks.
All right, close out the road trip. Monday at Boston.
Loss.
Will?
Boston.
All right. Wednesday, November 24th, home versus the Bulls.
Okay, I see. I'll go with a win.
You said home against the Bulls?
Yeah.
No, I can't pick them against the Bulls. No, I picked Chicago.
I do too. Saturday, home versus Charlotte. That's an
Couple days off. I'll give them a win.
Because that's after Thanksgiving. The Hornets might be full of turkey and fixing all that kind of stuff. I think I'll give them a W there. All right, Will, what you say?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll pick Houston for that one.
Okay, I think based on what we're doing so far, this is the Rockets' best chance of a winning streak. November 29th, home, Monday, OKC.
I'll take that as a win.
Yep, OKC. I'll take Houston for that one.
Okay, so far, 3 of the Rockets' wins are against OKC. Okay, let's do November. Andy, keep track of the tally there. What is that for November?
Yeah, for me, I have them at. Give me a second.
I got them at 4-10 in November.
Yeah, I have them at 8-12 at the end of November.
No. For the month of November.
Oh, for just the month of November.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
You had them 8-12. You had them. So you had them 5-9 because you had them 3-3 in October.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Will, I think me and you about the same, right? For November.
Yeah, I haven't been tracking it. I apologize. I haven't.
All right, December. The Rockets are on a 2-game winning streak.
3 if you're following my schedule.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's a fair point. All right, December 1st at OKC.
I don't. All these many times they play Oklahoma City in close stretch, I feel that they won't end up sweeping all of them. I have them losing that game.
And see, that's the thing. OKC, we all expect them to stink.
Yeah.
But are they going to stink enough to get swept by the Rockets 4 times?
I don't think so. If it's at OKC, sometimes they end up getting hot. I'll give it to OKC.
Shea going to carry OKC to get 1 win over the Rockets. So, yeah, I'll give that an L. So, let me comment to Aaron here. Rockets making the play-in. We're discussing that, Aaron. Let's see. Eventually. What say you, Will?
Yeah, I'll take Houston for that one.
For OKC.
All right. Home versus Orlando, Friday, December 3rd.
Rockets win that one.
Saying that kind of confident too, huh?
Yeah, it's Orlando at home.
All right, I'll go with you right there. Will?
Yeah, I'll go with Houston for that one.
All right, home Sunday versus New Orleans. L.
Wow.
I say Rockets take it.
L. If I mean, you could be right, obviously, but if New Orleans loses to what we think is going to be a bad Rocket team, I mean, just keep making it easier for Zion to leave, you know. But okay. All right. A few days off. Wednesday, December 8th. Home versus Brooklyn.
And this is my hot take where I know that the Houston Rockets, juiced up, will still lose to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, they're gonna get mashed. Yeah, assuming two of the big three play. Heck, it may even just be one because KD. You know, Will, it's gonna be an upset. No. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, home versus the reigning champs, December 10th, Friday, the Bucks.
I have that as a loss.
Agreed. Will?
Yep.
All right. Going to start a 3-game trip now. And boy, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of 9 on the road trip. Starting with first up at Atlanta.
At Atlanta.
Oh, excuse
me. Did we skip the Memphis game?
At Memphis. Yeah. At Memphis.
Off a back-to-back against Milwaukee. That's a man.
Yeah.
Every time they play Memphis, that's a tough stretch. I have that as a loss.
L for me. Okay, then. Will, what say you?
Yeah, it's an L.
All right, then. That was Saturday, December 11th. Next will be Monday, the 13th at Atlanta. So Memphis on Saturday, the 11th. Monday, 13th at Atlanta, at the Hawks.
That's
another loss.
All right. This one's for you, Will. Next, December 15th at Cleveland.
Oh, that's an L.
Yeah, I agree. I think they lose that game. The Rockets, for some reason, always struggle in Cleveland.
They do. Okay. They come home for to change clothes because this is the back-to-back as well. Wednesday in Cleveland, Thursday home versus the Knicks.
Yeah, another brutal stretch. I had them losing that game.
All right. Back on the road. The time for this one is strange.
11 in the morning.
Yes.
On a Saturday
at Detroit at 11 a.m. Central Time. L.
That's 11 a.m. Central. Goodness. That's an interesting. Yeah.
That's an L. I'm going to try to make that one because it's a Saturday. If I get somebody to take care of my mom. Week before Christmas. I'm going to try to make that one because it's 11 o'clock. Fly in Friday, fly out Saturday night, whatever kind of thing, you know. Hopefully we can do that. But Will, what you got?
Yeah, that's a L. I tried. That's an L. That's an L.
All right. Continuing the road trip, Monday, the 20th of December versus the Bulls.
That's a loss.
Yep, that's a loss.
A lot of losses here, Rocket fans. Y'all listening? Y'all sure are quiet. Last week, y'all were chiming in with some hot takes. You know,
well, they must have seen how brutal the schedule is. I mean, my goodness, there's so many road games to start the
Continuing the road trip, Wednesday in Milwaukee.
Loss.
All right. Thursday, back-to-back in Indiana against the Pacers.
They might beat Indiana.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Chris, I think it's interesting where Indiana goes, but off the back-to-back, I think it's too much to say they could win. I have them losing that game.
You're being kind, Will. Loss. All right, close out the road trip.
Christmas break.
Got it, a few days off because Thursday, the 23rd in Indiana. Don't play again until Monday, the 27th versus the Hornets in Charlotte. Closing out an 8 road game to 9-game stretch.
I have them losing that game.
Yeah, first game after Christmas break. That's an L.
On the road after traveling for over a week.
All right. Coming home. But damn, they're coming home the very next day.
Back to back against the Lakers.
Against the Lakers.
Yes. I have them losing that game. I mean, this schedule is brutal.
This schedule is almost like a Rockets team made the playoffs last year. This is rather than having the worst record in the NBA. All right, closing out 2021, New Year's Eve, Friday, December 31st, 6 p.m. in H-Town versus Los Heat.
That's
I
an
have them losing that game.
Wow.
I have them at 10-26 at the end of the year.
Okay. So you got them with 2 wins in December, right?
Yeah.
I got them with 1. Wow. See, that's 1 out of.
That's brutal stretch.
Is that out of 16 games? Is that what that is? Yeah. Woo. Boy. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Jeez, 16 games in 1 month, and most of them on the road.
Out of those 16 games, they have, was it 9?
Yep, 9 road games.
9 road games. Saying like that sounds better than, but when you look at it, 8 of those are part of an 8 and 9 stretch. So,
yeah, they're on the road for a 16. They only have 1 home game from a 16-day stretch.
And then they go from New Year's Eve to New Year's evening.
Oh, wow.
Playing Denver. It's home.
A home back-to-back, but that's
back-to-back.
another.
New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Yeah, I see that as a loss.
I'm going to toss a curve. I'm going to pick that as a W because one of those 2 teams, somebody's going to party too much.
No.
And, let's just say
The
it's
Rockets
the Nuggets.
are at home.
I
don't know. Rockets are the home team.
But based on
filled with young guys.
Yeah, that's true. Based on Mr. Ice Grill meeting Paul Wall and stuff, and he might want to. I don't know, but just being different because my goodness, I think October, November, December, I got them with 6 wins and 30 losses. So start off the new year 2022 with a W. Why not? Because Monday, January 3rd at Philly.
Another loss.
That's ill. Let's see how the people are doing. The healthy Rockets. We're picking the Rockets based on who they are. We're not picking them because they're injured. This is as of August 22nd. We're picking them as we think how it's going to go.
And based off the schedule of the other teams.
And the schedule. That's the schedule, as well. But in October, we'll do this again, and things may change based on injuries, trades, folks stepping up in the 4 preseason games. So we'll see. Next, January 5th at, I think, an improved Wizards team. Because it's on paper. They got to prove it, but
I'll give the Rockets a win, just in terms of they've been on a long losing streak. I think they'll be able to steal at least one of these games.
Will?
Not this one, though. This is a win for Washington.
Okay. Going home, Friday, January 7th. Home versus the Mavs.
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas.
Okay. Will?
Yeah, Dallas.
All right, Sunday, January 9th. Home versus the Timberwolves.
I got the Rockets winning that game. Progress.
I do too. Wow. All right, now a 5-game road trip begins.
Another one.
Jeez. Wednesday, the 12th of January versus the Spurs.
God.
They'll beat the Spurs. I'm gonna
pick the Rockets to win that game. They'll beat the Spurs.
Off 3 games rest. I agree. 3 days rest.
Now the next 2, Friday the 14th, Sunday the 16th, are versus the Kings in Sacktown.
Yeah,
I think they'll split.
I agree.
I think I got them losing the first one, winning the second one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then Wednesday at Utah.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
Friday at the Warriors.
Oof, that's a tough turnaround.
That's a loss. Clay will be back. That's a loss.
That's the fifth and final of the 5-game road trip. All right. Andy,
I have them at 14-32.
so you got them as beating the Warriors or losing?
No, I have them losing that game against the Warriors.
Okay. Coming home, first game off the 5-game road trip will be Monday versus the Sixers.
Another loss.
Agreed, Will?
Yep.
Very next night, Tuesday versus the Spurs.
I have them winning that game.
I do too, boy. I don't know about that. Spurs won't be as good, but anyway, okay.
Yeah, that's not the team you want to face on the second night of a back-to-back.
Friday. Will, what say you? Home against the Spurs.
Oh, yeah, they'll win that.
All right.
They'll win that.
Friday. So go from Tuesday versus the Spurs to Friday, home versus the Blazers.
That's a L.
Yeah. No, I think they beat Portland.
All right. I'm a fool. I got them at the L. Close out the month. Home versus the Warriors on January 31st.
I got them beating Golden State. I think they can take at least one of them during the season. So I have them on a little winning streak right now.
All right. So for me, for January, Will, you shaking your head? That's a loss. For you. All right. For me, I got them in January. Wow, it's their best month so far for me. I got them with 5 wins and 9 losses. Okay, so wow. So I mean, we've got about around 11-39. Boy.
Woo, I have them 17-33.
So yeah. Well, you gotta have them like that because you got making a play in. So All right. February. It's for you, Will.
I think the winning streak continues. They'll beat
February
Cleveland.
2nd, home versus the Cavs.
I have them on a 4-game winning streak.
You're gonna be wrong, but okay, that's fine. The viewers love you, I'm sure. February 2nd, home versus the Cavs.
Let me see something here.
A couple of days rest.
Gotta check the schedule here. Check the Cavs schedule here.
Yeah, they got a day off. They're coming in. They play New Orleans on the 31st at home. Then they go to Houston.
Yes.
Hey, that's a sweep. That's a season sweep for the Cavs.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. See, he's not being objective. He's not being objective, but that's okay.
I disagree. I think that's split.
Let's see. I'm giving him a W.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got him losing the next game Friday in San Antonio.
Yeah, I agree. The losing streak ends in San Antonio.
Will?
Yeah, they'll beat the Spurs.
All right.
Ooh.
Sunday, February 6th, the first of home and away, home versus the Pelicans.
I have them beating the Pelicans in that first game.
Will?
Okay. They'll beat them. They'll beat them the first one.
Okay, well, Tuesday, go to New Orleans to play the Pelicans. I got them as a loss. They're going to lose both of them.
Yep.
They're going to lose both of them.
Ooh.
Will? Got them as a loss?
Yeah, they'll lose that one. They'll lose the...
Okay, y'all got them in a split. I got them losing both. All right. Thursday, February 10th, home versus the Raptors.
I have them winning that game.
Yeah, loss. Okay. Oh, now that you're here, let me do this real quick so folks can follow my man because I'm sure they're going to love him more than they love me and Will. There we go. All right, because Andy, you're getting close to 20 wins for him, aren't you?
I have them exactly that 20-35.
So I know I'm not close to that. I think should be around maybe 10. So something like that. Whatever. Okay.
And we have some. Well, let's finish the schedule.
Yeah, Valentine night on the road in Utah.
Oof. Yep. I'm losing that game.
All right. Agreed. L. February 16th on the road versus the Phoenix Suns.
That's an L.
Yep.
And the very next night at the Clippers.
These are some brutal. Yep. Travels.
All right, then we got All-Star break.
Okay.
In
For a
Cleveland.
week in Cleveland, yes, sir. So they go from a game on February 17th The next game will be February 25th. First game after the
will-
break at Orlando.
I have them winning that game. They sweep the Magic.
No,
So
they
why
lose
not?
that. First game off the break, they lose that. They lose that.
You know, I can see your logic too, Will, but I'm just gonna pick them. Why not? You know, because they trying to snap. In my case here, I got them snapping a 6-game losing streak, 7-game losing streak. So yeah, why not? Close out the month of February, home versus the Clippers.
That's the L.
Yeah. I think they split off the back-to-back. Back-to-back with the Clippers.
See, he's jumping ahead. So yeah, okay. All right. So February, I got the Rockets in the month of February with 2 wins and 8 losses. Woo, is that right? Yeah. Boy, okay. Andy, what do you do for February?
Ooh.
So you got them like around 500 or so for February, or even
Yeah.
better.
Just actually, yeah, around 500, just under.
All right. All right, March, as Andy alluded to, be the second of a 2-game homestand with the Clippers. March 1st, Clippers.
If they win the first game, I see them dropping this second one, or if they win the first one, I see them, or if they lose that first one, I see them winning the second. So I have it to split.
Will?
How they lose to the Clippers back to back.
I do too, even though I kind of do believe in the making adjustments thing and teams how to be the team.
And
2 in a
they
row.
beat the Clippers last year too.
But whatever. This is right now. So, okay. I'm going to get her take on this. Just a minute. We'll get it for her for April. Well, right middle of March, we're going to bring Kim Davis in and talk about the rest of the Rockets schedule for predictions. All right. March 2nd, home versus Utah. Back to back. Clippers on the first, Utah on the second.
See that as a loss.
I do too. Will?
Yeah, that's the L.
All right. Friday, March 4th at Denver.
A loss.
That's a loss.
Sunday, home versus Memphis.
That's a loss.
Home. I have them winning that game.
I'm picking a win now. No lie, there's no reason particularly why. They're going to pick them if they can start turning things around at home as the season winds down. March 7th at Miami.
That's a loss.
That's a loss.
March 9th, home versus the Lakers.
That's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
March 11th, home versus the Mavs.
That's a loss.
I have them winning that game. I don't think they'll get swept by Dallas.
I'm going to pick them as a W there too.
Wow.
Like I said, they're going to start doing better as the season progresses at home. All right, March 13th at the Pelicans.
I see them losing that game.
Agreed?
Yep.
All right, and now, as promised, I'm going to bring her in from Chalk Talk starting March 16th. I'm going to bring in one of my colleagues, mentors, sisters, all those things, Kim Davis. How you doing, Kim?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us. Let me replace one banner with the other banner. Let's see here. So folks can see. Oh, she got it up there. See, that's a pro right there, folks. But we're going to do it right there. All right. Okay, Kim. We got, I think maybe 12 to 15 games left in Rocket schedule as we're making predictions as of August 22nd.
Okay.
March 16th. My Rockets record right now, we are maybe 70 games, 65 games in. I think I have them at maybe 15 wins. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
something like that.
60 games. I have them at 24 and 44.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
Okay.
And I think Will's even worse than my record.
am.
Yeah.
I am.
All right. March 16th, home versus Phoenix. Kim, you first.
Yeah, they're not going to win that game. That's going to
Agreed?
be an L.
Andy?
Yeah, I agree.
Will?
Agreed.
It's unanimous. L. All right. Next Friday, March 18th. Home.
Indiana.
Indiana.
I have them winning that game.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a W. I'm going to, we're going to go with a win against Indiana at home.
Okay. I got it with an L. Will?
I'll say it like this: Eric Gordon comes back to Houston. No, and they.
Well, he might by that
I
point.
know,
He
I know,
might.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll beat Indiana. They'll
Okay.
beat Indiana.
Like I said, I got him with the L, so I'm being different. That's fine. Next, this is a home game. This is a 4-game homestand for the Rockets. Third game of the homestand, Sunday, March 20th, a 2:30 start, but it's not ABC. It's AT&T Sportsnet. Home versus Memphis.
I have them winning that game.
L.
I have him
what
with an
say
L.
you?
I
Will?
say L.
Yeah, they lose that.
Yeah, lose
Okay.
that.
Close out the homestand the very next day, Monday, versus the Wizards. I got them with a W.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a W. They'll beat the Wizards.
Yeah.
Will?
I agree.
Yep.
All right. Now, starting a 3-game road trip Wednesday in Dallas.
Loss.
Yeah, they're going to lose.
Okay, agreed. Now, the next two are both in Portland. Friday, March 25th, and Saturday, March 26th.
I think they split.
I'm going to be optimistic and say they split. I mean, I kind of feel like they're going to lose them both, but I'm going to be optimistic and say they still won in Portland.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I got them losing the first one, winning the second one. Will, what say you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say they lose both of them.
Okay, lose both of them. All right. Let's see. Next, Monday, March 28th, home versus the Spurs.
I got them winning.
And I got them winning.
Yeah, they'll beat the Spurs.
I got them losing. Close out the month of March, home versus the Kings.
I see them winning that game.
Yeah, I agree. They win it.
They win. They beat the Kings.
All right, let's see. Let me do my record for March.
What did you say about that, Kris?
Oh, Sacramento. They'll win that one. I'll give them a W with that one.
Okay.
All right, so month of March. Let's see what I got for them. Another good month for me, for the Rockets. I got them with 5 wins. Yep, 5 and is that a right 11? 12. Is that right? You got 17 games in March?
Yeah, I got them at 8 and 9.
So 5 and 12 for me. All right. Closing
I
out
have them at 8
the
and 9.
season. 5 games in April to close out the season. They have a homestand with the Kings because the first game, April 1st, home versus the Kings.
Yeah, I think they split with Sacramento, so I'm gonna go with a loss.
Him?
I'm going to go with a loss. I think they split that.
Will?
Agreed. A loss.
I got them sweeping the Kings. They're going to end up getting Luke Walton fired. So,
Okay.
all right. Sunday, April 3rd, Minnesota, home. Home for Minnesota.
I think that's a win.
Yeah, I'll go with that as well.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a win against Minnesota at home.
Will?
I think they lose, just to be different.
Okay. Tuesday, at Brooklyn.
That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Agreed.
It's probably a loss, even if the Nets have clinched a playoff spot. They may not need it for seeding, anything like that, but it's
Still weak.
They're better than the Rockets, period. So,
Yeah.
Friday, at Toronto.
I have them losing that game.
Agreed? Him?
Yeah, they'll probably lose at Toronto.
Will?
Yeah, I want to say they will win it, but they'll lose. I'll say they'll lose it.
I got him with an L also. All right, closing out the season. Home game against the Hawks.
I'll say they win to close out the regular season.
Yeah, I'm going to say they're going to win. They're not going to end the season on a 4-game losing streak.
Agreed.
Hopefully.
I got him with a win. What do you say? Will?
Okay, they'll win it. They'll win it.
So
Trae Young sits out.
my predictions, that's possible too. My predictions, the Rockets finally have a winning month with April going 3-2. But tally it up, I got them, let's see. Whew, boy. 10-22, 15-31, 16-46,
Jeez.
20-56. I got them 21-61. Wow.
Chris, I have them 10 games better than you. I have them at 31-51.
And notice that, Andy. Notice. You had them 31 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure 31 wins going to get them the 10th seed for the play-in.
Yeah, looking at that schedule, I might reevaluate my argument last week.
So, once again, that's August 22nd. We're doing this. We'll do it again in October during, right before the season begins and see if things change. But yeah, 21-61. Ooh. Because that month of December, 16 games, I got but one win in December.
Yeah, that's the stretch where they have 8 of 9 on the road.
Yep, 8 of 9 on the road. You're going to have players talking amongst themselves like, man, this is bad. This is rough. This is tough. And fans are probably calling for Coach Silas's head and things like that. Won't happen. But had a question on YouTube. I said yes. What do y'all say about it? Do you think Josh Christopher will make an all-rookie team? First or second all-rookie?
All-rookie?
All-rookie.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
I know. I'd like to be
yes.
surprised. You said yes?
Be
Okay.
second team, yes. Because I think he's going to get a lot of playing time.
I think he will get a lot of playing time. So
starting in February. So February or March, because I think John Wall and Eric Gordon will be gone. So Jalen Green, Josh Christopher both make all rookie. See, fans, that could be a bright spot. 21 wins. You still have 2 members of the all rookie team. It could happen.
So where did you guys say that John Wall's going? Did you say that? I missed it.
Say it again.
John Wall, where's he going? What do you?
Well, we
what's
didn't
your
say.
predict? Oh, just somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't. I just, for his future and the development of the youngsters, at some point this season, it's better for both sides for John to go somewhere else. I know he's a good leader and he'll lead the youngsters these first couple of months about how to be professional, all those things. I'm good with that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But at some point, the losses are going to mount. John Wall, his people probably going to say, I want a chance to win. This is not what I want to end my career. So let's work on something so I go elsewhere. And then the Rockets do what they can and give more minutes to the youngsters. So that's my take on that. Andy, what do you say?
Yeah, I agree. Him and Eric Gordon, I'd be surprised if somehow they're still on the roster by the NBA trade deadline.
Will?
Agree. Yeah, they're going to find work, as you said, work with their teams, their agents, and find a good landing spot for both of them.
Don't you think my concern about John Wall though is that his contract is so it's going to take some.
It's awful.
I think that's going to be much harder to move. I don't know.
Much harder to trade.
To trade, that's true.
I think, but even trades. a team, if John Wall and his people start putting word out that he wants out and force the Rockets to let him go and waive him, then we're talking about will Tillman eat that money?
Nope. I don't think he will. That's the problem. Or that's the challenge.
That's the challenge. I think he will.
Tillman Fertitta?
Yes, because
I don't think he will.
At some point, the keeping him will just hurt the youngsters in the long run.
Yeah, I think Tillman's more about his money than that.
Oh, I agree.
I'd like to agree that he would say that's better for the team, but I don't think he's gonna take the L in the pocket. I just don't.
That you could be right. You might be right.
Yeah.
I'm just choosing to believe Tillman's going to go a different route with fans back in the building and all those things. I think Tillman is just going to, realize that it's time to start over. Time to let the youngsters play going forward. Thank you, John, for your time here with the Rockets. And just, trade wise, or just tell Rafael, look, man, get a second round pick for him in 2030. Whatever. Down the line, do that. See, the Rockets' problem is going to be teams will force Tillman, because they'll be like, Tillman, we know you don't want John Wall on the squad. Okay, so we're not going to make a trade. We're not going to give you anything for him. We're going to wait you out and make you cut him. Then Tillman might say, all right.
Yeah, I'd be willing to think that there's a better chance of them doing a trade where they're basically giving him away. But I think the money is a huge deal, and I just don't see Tillman eating that. I don't see him cutting him. But we'll see what happens.
Will the Cavs want John Wall?
No.
For Kevin Love?
That does nothing. That's that's more money. No.
Yeah.
For Kevin Love and Eric Gordon? I mean, John Wall and Eric Gordon?
That's more money. No.
Andy, John Wall for... Oh, let's see. Orlando is trying to go young. They're probably finally getting wise. Milwaukee, no. Toronto, probably not. I'm trying to find a sucker. Think of a sucker. Okay. All right. John Wall to OKC. For one of OKC's 8 million picks. Because we know OKC will do that. They'll waive John Wall, and then John Wall go sign somewhere else where somebody else get a chance to win. How about that?
Who's going to waive him? OKC's going to waive him?
Yes, OKC. They'll trade for him, give up a pick.
Like they just did with Kemba, kind of.
Something like that,
Yeah.
I can see that, but Houston would have to probably attach another first with John Wall.
Okay. What if Tillman says, do that? Give them one of our picks because with Kim's logic, I don't want to pay this man to be here anymore.
Now that is what would motivate Tillman. How do I get this money off my books so I don't have to pay him? That's the only way it happens.
So John Wall and a protected first-round pick in 2025, one of Brooklyn's picks, one of the Bucks picks, whatever, something, whatever, in the future to OKC for an OKC second-round pick in 2028 or 20, whatever, something.
I'd do that if I were the Rockets, if they're really trying to get John Wall out of the John Wall contract.
John Wall is owed $82 million over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm with you. I mean, who's going to do it?
No. The Cavs can't get off Kevin Love 60 right now. And he's talking about John Wall's 82? I don't see it.
But John Wall last year, when he played, he produced. Kevin Love didn't put up good numbers.
He produced, but 40,
it could be
40.
It could be a champion or a team that has championship aspirations at the deadline might be desperate to try to get over the hump.
That's why I said OKC. OKC get another first round pick. They're going to cut him, and work out something with the team that picks him up or whatever about payment. Whatever. OKC don't care. At some point, they're going to start trying to win. It ain't this year.
At some point, they're going to have to worry about those salaries. I don't know if they're going to keep doing that. They have a lot of draft capital, but I just think that teams are going to be looking at their payrolls more.
So y'all are saying the Rockets are stuck. That's y'all are saying? That's what I'm hearing?
That's what I say, yeah. I mean,
some way, somehow.
His contract's so big. I think it's just cost prohibitive to move him.
Well, it sure
But Tillman, because he ain't going to eat it.
I mean,
he's not going to eat it.
Russ has been traded 3 times, 3 years, right? Something like that?
Yeah, 4.
4.
So, well, yeah, okay. It only takes one team.
Right.
So what y'all are saying makes a lot of sense. And it's top of the hour here. Folks Talking Sports on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Kris Gardner, the host. Joining me is Yanez from Pawd, Jama, Willy Gibson of WTG Sports, and Kim Davis from Chalk Talk. We're talking Rockets and John Wall contract here. Okay, I want some of the people who are chiming in, who are watching us on Facebook. What do y'all say? Will the Rockets trade John Wall? Will the Rockets find a taker? Will the Rockets waive John Wall and Tillman says, well, wouldn't that be something? Will Tillman say, I'm not going to let the money go. Let John Wall stay around for another season, and we'll try to get him off the books 2022, 2023. So
what if John Wall doesn't? What if he gets injured? Because
right.
he can't stay healthy. He's proven he hasn't stayed healthy. So you only made $82 million, and he's not proven to be healthy. How you gonna move him?
Well, you're using logic, Will.
I apologize.
All of y'all are using logic, and that's fine.
It's my fallback. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not using logic, because there is always one team in the NBA that either believes the change of scenery will do the player good, or our physical performance people can help work with him and keep him healthy, or whatever. It only takes one.
I think if he was earlier in his career and had not had the kind of major injuries he had, if he had come back this past season with the Rockets and the whole season didn't have any injury issues, I think that would be, okay, we can really do something with him. But I just think, he's further along in his career. He's older, and I just don't think it's going to be tough to move him.
Okay.
I just think it is.
What if he puts up very good numbers and the Rockets still lose? And he's healthy. He improves his trade value for this season. What about that scenario?
Well, that may be something,
Could you see a playoff team wanting to be willing to take on that contract and give up something in return for him?
What about a team like, and I don't know how possible it might be just with the contracts in turn, but what about a team like the Clippers that, maybe they're hovering around the 8th seed, 7th seed without Kawhi Leonard. They have hope that he comes back towards the end of the season and try to add another star to help load off of Paul George and Kawhi if he comes back at the end of the season.
Okay, let's go with that. Let's go Reggie Jackson, Eric Bledsoe, pick somebody else with the Clippers for John Wall.
Maybe.
But then I guess that doesn't make too much sense for the Rockets.
Agreed, because those contracts, I think Bledsoe contract comes up.
Yeah, it comes up.
Jackson doesn't, because he just signed a 2 or 3 year deal.
2 year.
But okay, what if you in a trade you get back a player you get back comes off the books next summer?
22.
But you also get a player who's on your books for at least 2 more years?
I just think it depends on the number. I mean, Tillman, right? Where is he? What's the number? We know he wants to. I mean, cap matters to him. Luxury tax matters to him. Not that he's there yet, but the further he can stay under that, I believe, is where he wants to be. And so, depends on the player that has 2 more years on his books and what that number is. I think it comes down to math more so than even the player.
Okay. And we got a comment from Harden ISO God, like that name.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks Houston's goal is probably going to be to up Wall and Gordon's trade value this season and then move them next season. Y'all agree with that? I think it's possible.
Yeah. How healthy can they stay? I mean,
okay.
A lot of it's going to depend on,
Let's say this: should it be the Rockets' goal to improve their trade value, play John Wall and Eric Gordon enough minutes, they produce? But what if their good production results in wins, and too many wins that impact their lottery position for the 2022 draft? Should the Rockets still continue playing them in that scenario? Are you okay with that? Should the Rockets try to win as many games and lower their lottery position this season?
I think that the number one goal should be developing the young core they have with Jalen Green at the helm. Make sure that if they do try to increase the value of a John Wall and Eric Gordon, it's not at the detriment of their young players. Especially, it'll be interesting to see how, if Wall spends the entire season here, how he fits if he stays healthy.
Will?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the goal is to develop your young talent. So, yeah, at some point they're going to have a conversation and sit them down. Either you send them away, if you will, and allow wait for the trade. But yeah, I think playing John Wall, winning games, but at the detriment of not allowing Christopher to develop. I don't know how that's going to play long term. So,
Kim.
Yeah, I think you develop them, and I also think you start the season and listen. We know this is not going to be a team that's going to be competing for the championship in the next few years, but I do think you've got so much young talent. You've got to try to develop them, and the goal has to be to try to win. I don't think the goal can be I think it's be detrimental to them if the goal is to be back in the lottery next year. Now, if that's where you end up, but I just don't think that's the goal. That's the strategy,
See, I think, I've said it here on our show, Folks Talking Sports, as well as on the lunch break with AJ, that play the youngsters, give them time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm curious, will Tillman listen to Rafael and other people in personnel and say, Tillman, look, for the future of the franchise, John Wall should not play here. So you need to decide, do you want him to sit on the bench and still get paid? If you're good with that. Because if he stays healthy and the more we play him, he's going to limit the development of our young core and potentially win more games that may hurt our chances of getting another number one pick, top overall pick, something like that, whatever. Tillman says, I ain't waiving him.
Yeah.
So either you find a trade or he'll be a Rocket for this season and we'll try to move him next summer or next November, December, January, February, when we have this last year of his contract. Could that happen?
So I think one of the things that will be important to Tillman this year is what does it look like when his team is on the court? Are they getting people, if the stadiums are open, to come in, for fans to come in? Can he make money in the stadium because there's some excitement around this team? Not that they're headed toward a championship, but I think it's going to be much more motivated by the experience. How do they look? I mean, I think it's so I think he'll listen to Raphael some, but I still think Tillman's motivation is going to be money. I don't see Tillman's motivation as being able to think big picture long term. Of course, he wants to win, but in terms of how we get there, I think he's going to say, okay, well, listen, the fans are coming, they're booing, we've lost 10 and whatever it is. I think that's going to motivate and have a lot to do with which direction Tillman and the Fertitta family decide this team goes. That's just my thought.
And let me say this. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they're going to win a lot, especially early. But for Alan, Hard and ISO God, for the folks tuning in, commenting, and other fans, will y'all be good with the Rockets being a fun team to watch, fun, exciting, and losing? Knowing that this season is just a bridge to more development for next season and season down the line? Or will you begin booing because of the losses piling up? That's a serious question, because I just think in part of the development, they're going to be fun. They're just going to lose. It'll be fun to watch. They're just going to lose.
Yeah, and I think the key word right there, Kris, is development. If you can see that the young players, the core is growing, even if it isn't translating into wins, the more improvement you can see. If you can see with Jalen Green being more comfortable scoring, getting a better understanding. If you see Jayshawn Tate take a leap from what he put in this past season, KJ Martin, KPJ, if you see growth in those guys, I'm sure the Rocket fan base would be fine with having another, if it's a 20-30 win season, but having close games and kind of learning through going through the ringer of the 82 game schedule, but seeing that gradual improvement.
Well, let me get your perspective from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
What is the fan base there? What do they want now?
They understood the process, not to, no pun intended, but they knew when LeBron was here, the 4 years he was here, they went all in, and there was a price to pay once he left. So now, this is going into year 4 since he's been gone. So now it's time to, we understood, we traded picks and did some things to get players here while LeBron was here. So now it's time to results. They're looking for results this year. Evan Mobley is a player that they're that's highly thought of. They're expecting a lot from. They re-signed Jared Allen, so that's a move in the right direction. A throw-in, that's the crazy part. A throw-in by Brooklyn that they needed to clear a little bit more money to acquire Harden. They called Cleveland to take Jared Allen off their books, and worked out well for Cleveland. He's a $100 million player now. Worked out well for him. But now it's more so they're looking for results, and this is the year that they're looking to make the step. Hopefully, if it gets them in the 9-10 spot, the plan spot, great. But they have to make some steps in the right direction, some development.
Okay, and see, I think the Rockets and Detroit are in a similar position, different than Cleveland. I think the Cleveland fans and I think organization wants to try to get to the play-in. It's further along in the development. I think Detroit is just slightly further along than the Rockets, slightly. But their goal is not to make the play-in this year either. Their goal is more development for the youngsters. I think it should be the same for the Rockets. We're not talking about tanking. I think the Rockets are going to be fun to watch. They may surprise a team or two here and there.
Yeah.
But the inexperience of life in the NBA, they're going to still lose. Part of inexperience and the talent 1 through 15 is not there. It's not good enough as it will be next season and the season after that. So will Tillman be okay with that? Will the fans be okay with that? Will people call in to the sports shows or comment on our show and other shows when the Rockets go on a 9-10 game losing streak after one of those brutal road trips? Yo, man, this is awful. This is not what I thought this was going to be. Will that be enough for Tillman to go, I got to make changes? This is not what I thought it was going to be either. I hope not, because I think we all agreed Andy, you're kind of changing what you said last week. I think we don't believe this is going to be a play-in team. Yeah, the play-in is they're going to have to surprise the people to make the 10th spot for a play-in this year. If they do, they've had a very successful season.
Do you guys think that I'm sorry, do you think that Coach, do you think Silas survives this year and gets a chance to be there when they
I think this is probably his first full season where you could really evaluate him, just compared to how much drama there was last season and what he expected when he first got the job. He had Russell Westbrook and James Harden on the team.
Right.
Quickly, Westbrook was off it, and then Harden entering the season, it made it clear that he didn't want to be here anymore. I think last season was such an aberration. You can't really judge him based off of it, especially when you add on top of all that, all the injuries they had.
So I agree that makes perfect sense. But I do think that next season, if there becomes something has to change. Unfortunately, that could be. I mean, I don't think it's the right move, but that could be the change. I mean, Chris, you remember a few years back when Les got rid of Kevin McHale, and he said, I don't know if it was the right thing to do, but I had to do something.
Yeah.
So it's easy to move that one guy and at least say, okay, I'm doing something. And unfortunately, that's always a possibility. I agree with everything you said, Andy, and I've been saying that for the past, since he's been here, so, but you know how owners get, if they kind of get that, like, I got to do something, easier to move the coach and do anything else.
Let me ask y'all this, and it's been kicked around the last week's month or two. Will the success of the Hawks and the Knicks cause some franchises to see what they did? They made the playoffs, and some of the management would think the Hawks and Knicks were a quick fix. That's not true.
It's not true.
But they look at it like that and say, hey, I want you guys to do what they did. Turn around after our season. Why, Stephen, Raphael, why aren't I getting this done after 1 year? Could Tillman do that?
I think that Tillman could, because I don't think that Tillman really gets it, right? The process. And as I guess Alan Luna said, Houston isn't used to this. I don't think Tillman is used to it. I mean, remember the team that he took over, the team that he purchased, and where he thought they should be. I think that's going to be the dance for Raphael, is how do you keep Tillman, the Fertitta family, okay, and in it for give it another year, right? That's going to take that. That's going to be the dance he's got to do, and so we'll see if he's able to do it. I don't have a lot of confidence or faith that Tillman is that guy. I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing personally.
Andy, Will, I want your thoughts on this, because the Rockets seem to have hit on four first-round picks, different levels of success. I think all four of them have bright futures.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm speaking for myself, because, a couple months ago, it was reported that Tillman agrees with the process. Got to use it. Process, the rebuilding, the reality of the situation is that this is not a championship team anymore. Okay, if he sees the potential of the 4 rookies, and I think all of us are saying Tillman needs to change his mentality, because I think the Rockets' future is bright with those 4 rookies, Jayshawn Tate, Christian Wood. I saw one thing. I want to get y'all thoughts on this as well. Could Christian Wood not be here by the time Rockets get good to great?
I guess for me, things that I would normally say or think about a team, because it's Tillman, it's such a wild card. And you're right. While he may say, I know we're not a championship team, but that's a whole lot between not being a championship team and being back in the lottery. I would imagine that Tillman is not okay with his team being in the lottery, right? I just think it's, I just I just don't think he is. So to answer your question about Christian Wood, I don't know. Maybe it's hard to call it, man. This ownership here is,
Andy, what do you say?
To the Christian Wood point, I'd be surprised. And it's not even just speculation. I know there's been some people that have said the Rockets should trade Christian Wood because he doesn't fit the timeline of the younger pieces, which I think is absurd. I think it depends how long it takes the Rockets to get right. Like, I go back to the point: if you see improvement this season and certainly a much faster process of the young guys in terms of growing and being able to pick up the NBA game and going as the season progresses, then I think the mentality changes a little bit where, okay, maybe in a year or two, the goal is to get to get to the playoffs, so you can attract a free agent once, whether they do trade John Wall or once that contract gets off the book. They have cap space to try to lure someone, maybe not a top free agent, but a mid-tier level star that'll get them in the hunt for the playoffs. But I think it all depends on the young guys and how quickly they pick it up. If they have another tanking season and not even purposely tanking, but just another year where they struggle, whether it's against the good teams or winning close games. You know what they always said, the bad teams are the teams that can't close out close games, that can't pull out close games. I think that really and like you've mentioned, the wild card is Tillman Fertitta. I think really it has to be on the progress that these young guys make. If you see them kind of stalling a little bit, I think that puts a big question onto maybe we do need to continue to tank and try to look for younger guys that might be better, might have the better potential, better fit if these guys aren't cutting it.
Well, let me ask you this. It's funny how things are. I mean, because we got 4 guys who are 19. Christian Wood is 25. If the timeline is different, it's amazing how quickly that changed.
Right.
But Will, do you think, is it possible? I hate to phrase it like that, but is it possible that Christian Wood could have an issue with the team being Jalen Green's team now going forward, with the team being the 19-year-olds team and not his team?
You know what? I mean, I would lean on you, the 3 of you. You were in that market, so you probably know his personality a lot better than I. Is he that type of guy that?
It's tough because last year we did Zoom. We didn't have a chance to be
Zoom
in the locker room. We didn't have a chance to talk to him off the record and stuff like that.
True.
So
my gut is that he's not that guy.
Right.
I don't know though, because you're right. I mean, I only talked to him on Zoom, but just observing him, and I did talk to some people that were around him with the team, but so it's hard to say. Somebody mentioned that he just barely got paid, so he probably wants to get paid. I think he might. And here's the dance too for Rafael. I mean, how do you bridge this gap, right? C Wood, the bit of when they were competitive last year, a lot of it had to do with what they got from Christian Wood. So what's the conversation you're having with your young guys? Clearly Jalen is the future, right? But how do you mesh that talent? How does Silas kind of bring that together so that there's not let me just say this. I'm hoping that neither of these guys is the James Harden, right, that we've seen the past so many years, because it was always an issue when there was somebody else that had a little bit of a star power. And I'm hoping that that's not the case with these guys, because it does become a real problem. None of them are as accomplished, obviously, as James Harden, but that was an issue with this team the entire time he was here. So hopefully they don't end up with that same culture. I'd imagine Tillman doesn't want that again, because it was detrimental.
Right. And let me toss this out to you guys. OG77013, he thinks it's John Wall's team. I think it needs to be Christian Wood's team because he's younger. Yeah. But see, if it's John Wall's team, it might be because of his veteran leadership, his time in the league, etc. At what point, with John still being here, could that become a problem? The longer he's here, and if it's still his team, don't you at some point want the young guys to step up and be ready? This is my team now. Kevin Porter Jr. next year or whatever. This is my team. Chris Wood, this is my team now. At what point do the Rockets need to move on from Eric Gordon and John Wall and say, yo, we need the young guys to step up and lead this team if we're going to get to where we want to go, and that's a championship caliber squad?
Well, the longest you're going to have John Wall is 2 years if you can't do something with his contract, right? If they could do something with his contract, I don't think he'd be here. So, does it have to be one of the young guys' team this coming year? I don't think it has to be a Jalen Green's team this year. I think Chris should. I'm just saying.
Jay Sean or Christian Wood, yeah.
Right, one of those guys. I think how they navigated last year. You know what I mean? I don't see it being terribly different as it starts this season with those guys. I mean, I think they obviously matured and feel like, okay, I've got a little more skin in the game, especially Jay Sean, because he's got this whole season behind him. Seawood a full season, although he had that injury with the Rockets. I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. I could be wrong, and I just don't think it is. I think in year 2, it depends on who's here, and that's the thing. We have no idea what the makeup is going to be because of all of these, possibilities that we're talking about.
And I'll say this: I don't believe it was as big a deal last season when he said it, but after some of the games, Christian Woods said that he wanted more touches. He felt like the offense needs to go through him more. Well, you got Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., John Wall. Christian Wood won't get more touches. So could that become a problem? Andy? Will?
It certainly could, and I think it depends. You mentioned how long could this potentially be John Wall's team. I think at most that should be the case until the trade deadline, because at some point it becomes detrimental to have, for the bad starts to outweigh the good in terms of having John Wall here. I think while as long as he's here, he will provide veteran leadership. He will be able to mentor a lot of the younger guys. But at some point, like you mentioned, Chris, you'd hope, and Christian Wood has kind of shown flashes of he's willing to take over as the go-to guy. But you'd imagine that you'd want, if it's not him, if it's a KPJ, if it is a Jalen Green as the season progresses, have one of those guys be the ones to step up. And at some point, it starts becoming detrimental to have John Wall be that guy. The more you get into, whether it's the end of this season or into whatever coming years come.
Question for all of y'all. Do we think the Rockets will start Jalen over Scoot, KPJ? I think they're going to start 3 guards.
Yeah, I agree. I think the starting lineup should be John Wall, KPJ, Jalen Green, and then probably have Jayshawn Tate being 4 with Christian Wood at the 5.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, and I like that. I think that's a real possible starting lineup. That that they have this year that they didn't have last year. All these guys at the beginning of camp, right? So I think you're going to see they've got camp to kind of figure out who they are and, who's going to step up, who's going to show up, right? We've seen them play in the summer league, but what happens when they get together, and now they're playing this is who the 12, the 15 is going to be, and what happens then? So, who separates themselves in terms of what do they play? And I think it's going to be interesting. I would love to see what happens, how things shake out in terms of how they look at camp.
Well, what do you say?
I'll say this. I hear we talked about trading John Wall earlier, and number of guards on that squad, that roster right now: Green, Gordon, Christopher. Let's trade instead of Wall, KPJ to Cleveland for a top 55 protected pick. Let's do that. I'm joking. I need that trade back.
Yeah, because you're trying to get him back. Yeah,
I need that trade back, man. We've talked about this. I need that trade back, especially now with the pieces that are there. But
when are the Cavs going to get rid of your man,
Sexton?
Yes.
It's probably going to be closer to camp if they do it. He's not going to get max money. His people are asking for max money. He's not going to get that in Cleveland. He's just not. He's not. So, if there's, if they can attach him to Kevin Love possibly and get the 2-for-1 to get them both out of town, that's possible. But it's going to take a while. He's a great scorer, great guy. He came in here at 19 years old. Speaking of 19-year-olds in Houston, Colin Sexton came in here and did everything he was asked to do. He came in and scored. He tried to play defense. He did what he could do.
The Cavs don't believe he's a max player.
No. Okay. Not at all.
That's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. In the comments, I agree with some of the comments we got, Andy. I think they're going to start Tice at the 4.
I could see that after the success they had with Kelly Olynyk starting at the 5 and Wood at the 4.
So that means coming off the bench, you got Jayshawn Tate,
Eric Gordon, least to start the season.
Start the season, because I think the roster's going to change, because I think at some point Şengün and Josh Christopher will start being the G League with the Vipers. Garuba, as well. House still here for a time being.
Oh yeah,
Armani Brooks.
They haven't re-signed him yet.
I was going to say he's not here. Yeah, he's not officially yet here. So the Rockets have a young core. They got 2 veterans who are still part of the core overall. It won't be boring.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, the issue with, I'm not saying it's an issue. Christian Wood brought it up himself last season. We'll see if he has more of, has an issue this year about lack of touches. We'll see if that becomes an issue. But pieces are there. They need more pieces. I think we'll just have to see how it all plays out. Kim, I want to get your take on this. Did you watch the Texans play last night against the Dallas Cowgirls?
Yes, I did.
Oh, Chris.
Wow.
As long as I have a mouthpiece, that's how I will refer to them as the Dallas Cowgirls. So I'm a fan of the Washington franchise, been that way for 30 years. That ain't going to change. They're the Cowgirls until I die. So anyway, Texans defense, what are it, 4 turnovers? Is that right?
Yep. Yes, as Levy Smith likes to call them, they're takeaways.
Okay, 4 takeaways. So is it safe to say the defense is ahead of the offense?
Oh, absolutely.
How much?
Well, I don't really know how to quantify it. The defense is going to be a lot better than the offense this year. And I was, posted some interviews from post game last night, and somebody, clearly a Cowboys fan today, was like, "Oh yeah, the clown Texans fans and and the Texans. Yeah, you did it against third stringers. It's preseason, right? But one of the things that David Culley says, right? He says, listen, whenever they keep score, it matters. So yes, it's preseason, but I like a lot. I've always liked Lovie Smith. I like this. What they're doing with the defense. They've moved a couple guys that were linebackers back to the defensive line. They look pretty good. Jacob Martin, who was a linebacker in the pass defense, as was Whitney Merciless. Jacob is a lot more excited probably about being on the line, playing with his hand in the dirt than Whitney is, but it gives him a pretty good rush up front. Which then, of course, I like the secondary, but it's all about what you get up front. And so, right. To answer your question, I think the defense is going to be fun to watch. I think that's going to be the thing that's going to be fun to watch. This Texans team will not be very good because offensively it's not going to be very good.
Okay, that leads to the question from Harden ISO God. Are the Texans any good?
I mean, no.
How many wins? Can you see?
How many wins?
Yes.
So I say between 4 and 6. And the only reason I go to 6 is because I think they're going to win some games because of defense, right? But 6 is optimistic. They're not going to be that good. This is a quarterback-driven league. And I like Tyrod Taylor, but I just think this offense is not it's going to struggle. The offensive line will be better than last year, but that's not a really high bar to say that they're going to be better.
Okay, your prediction of 6 wins on the high end is the most I've heard from anybody so far that I know and trust.
Right. I'm going with 4. 6 is like if somehow the defense wins them a couple games.
Yeah, being optimistic. I'm good with that. I think AD said 4.
Yeah.
I think I said 1 or 2. So
yeah, you'll stumble into 4. I mean, they got 4 last, whatever they get last year.
What's going to happen with Deshaun Watson? Is he done? Will he ever play another game, regular season game, in a Texan uniform?
I do. No. I say no. And I've said something, and I've had people question me on it even before all the stuff happened with his legal issues. I just didn't think the Texans wanted him, the new Texan regime. And it's not because they ever came out and said it, because obviously they knew you couldn't say you don't want one of the best players in the league, but their actions showed that they didn't. And why wouldn't they want him? Well, because now you got a new GM and you can get a lot of capital and you can build the team you want. And when you talk about the culture of the Texans and who they are, and Jack Easterby and Cal McNair, and now that we understand now that the general public understands some of the other things going on, you can see why. Okay, maybe as great as he is, Deshaun isn't really the guy that we want leading our team. Now that may sound crazy. I think it is crazy, but you're assuming that winning is what matters most instead of culture. And I think that's what matters most with the organization. So what's going to happen with Deshaun? I think right now it's really a wait to see on what the NFL decides, right? Because you can't really move him until the NFL weighs in and says, are we going to put him on the exempt list? What are we going to do? Because any potential trade partner, and there is interest, needs to know what his availability might be. So it's just a waiting pattern right now. I mean, none of that stuff is set to even hit the docket, those cases, until February of 22. And that is if they're not delayed, because remember, because of COVID, all the court cases have been pushed back. And the Deshaun Watson case is not a priority, right? We need to get these criminals off the street, right? So but to answer your initial question, I don't think he plays anymore for the Texans. I heard something maybe the first week of camp, some football report that the Texans were trying to, get him back. No, you're not bringing him in and putting him on scout team because you're trying to, get him back in the fold. So that's not happening. That's not happening.
Will.
Yes.
What are your thoughts of the reports of the alliance with the ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12.
This means they schedule some more games against each other. I mean, it's not. I mean,
well, folks, reporters are. That's not the main reason for it, though. They're not trying to schedule more games. They're trying to
delay
have a voting block against the SEC.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the SEC, and this is my take. And I've had this discussion with a few people. Everyone views the SEC as like, and I may be aging myself, Andy, don't. So you may want to Google this. But remember Different Strokes? Remember Arnold used to get into a fight with the Gooch, but we never saw the Gooch?
Yeah.
The SEC is like this mythical phenomenon. They have 16 to 14 teams right now. But are we really worried about Vanderbilt? Are we really worried about Mississippi State? No, we talk about Alabama, Georgia, LSU. So are we doing all of this for 3, maybe 4 teams to throw Florida in there? That's just my personal take on it. So to hear this alliance, we're blocking against the SEC, it's like, for what? For what?
Well, I mean, they are the TV draw. And of course, you cover the Ohio State University. So you have a different perspective than us poor folk here in Houston who don't cover a team like that.
You said that. I didn't say that.
I got no problem saying it. I've tossed rocks on my alma mater for years. So, and we'll continue to do so. But prove me wrong, start winning again. But the perception of the SEC is football, college football starts and ends with them.
Yeah.
No one else plays football besides them. The TV ratings, football is king in the South, all those things. Alabama seem like they've won every championship that's ever been played. That's the perception. When you can get a team that didn't even win this division compete for a national championship, that's LSU. I got a problem with that. Happened years ago. No one that bothered no one. LSU did not even win its own division, but they got a chance to play for a national championship. That's the power of the perception of the SEC. Now you combine that with ESPN and the network getting all the games, the SEC games, potential to get the college football playoff on ESPN. And do you remember a little while ago, we talked about it, about if I thought that if the playoff would start in 2023, and I said no, because I thought the presidents would find a way to wait to get more money in 25, 26. That's what's coming up. That's why this voting block is being formed, the alliance being formed. Mm-hmm. They don't want ESPN to have own the market. They want this to go to market, give NBC, Fox, CBS a chance to bid on the college football playoff. So that's part of it as well. The SEC is not, it's a Goliath, but Ohio State is a Goliath. Ohio State may be the marquee name in college football to the majority of the country, not Alabama. But the alliance, well, I just want my alma mater to get some crumbs, to get off the kiddie table and get a seat at the big boy table. That's what I'm hoping for. So, because, just talking about the ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12, the Big 12 is not part of that, which should show them, the remaining 8 schools, y'all need to do something because y'all are being squeezed. Let me read this to you. I sent it to Andy. I'll get y'all, Kim, your take and Will's take. The new commissioner of the Pac-12, George Playoff, said Thursday to some reporters that the Pac-12 will make with a decision whether to expand, whether we intend to expand or not in the next couple of weeks. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Next, John Wilner, he is like the Willy Gibson of the Pac-12. He's very connected to the Pac-12. Very, very connected to the Pac-12. He's a reporter. He said if the Pac-12 did consider expansion, Houston and Kansas would be at or near the top of his list. Obviously, KU because of basketball. One of the blue bloods in men's college basketball. Houston because of Houston, the city of Houston, demographics, because it ain't football success the last 4 years.
College basketball too.
Basketball season, college basketball is getting better, but in terms of demographics, you would get the Pac-12 will get a foothold in the state of Texas. So, what's to say, Kim, Will, if the Pac-12 comes, if George Kliavkoff calls UH President Chancellor Renu Couture, we'd like to extend an invitation to the University of Houston to join the Pac-12. What would she say?
That's your school. Those are your people. I don't know. I guess you should take the first phone call they get. I think they would rather be in the Big 12 just because of maybe proximity. But if the Pac-12 wants them, I guess you go.
Will?
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to take that call. No disrespect to the I'll say it like this: with all due respect to the AAC, which typically means you're about to disrespect somebody,
right?
With all due respect to the ACC or AAC rather, you have to take that call.
Yeah,
the Pac-12, you have to take that call without question and accept that invitation.
Okay, and accept the invitation. Okay, Andy.
Yeah, I was going to say if Renu Couture gets that call, she's going to be thanking the commissioner. She'll be happy. The entire university program will be happy because Pac-12 is a big step up from the American Athletic Conference. And, Chris, I think we mentioned this a while ago. When you think of the American Athletic Conference, especially, you don't really think of, is there really a rivalry that Houston has in the American Athletic Conference? I know in basketball, it's probably Memphis. Those games are always good. But when you think of football, I guess SMU because of the Dallas interstate rivalry.
Not
but
really.
It's not really a rivalry.
Because UVA has underachieved in football. It could be a lot of folks, but when you stink and when you get beat by a lot of people, are you a rival? No. SMU in state, but I think the preseason poll had SMU picked ahead of U of H in football. So Dana needs to win. Yeah. But if the Pac-12 says we want to invite U of H to join our conference, U of H should say yes to that in a heartbeat.
Oh, sure they would. I think whoever calls first. I think if the Big 12 calls, I think they're going.
See, the Big 12 should, but they won't because of the ignorant belief of, well, we don't want to give Houston a recruiting advantage of having us go. Well, that's why y'all are small-minded, and your big boys left because stuff like that. We don't want U of A to have a recruiting advantage over Texas Tech and Baylor and TCU. Do better. If you can't beat U of A in recruiting, especially based on what I've seen the last few years, that's a you problem. That's not a U of A's problem. But the Big 12 logically should stay together because if they stay together as a conference, they're going to get paid from Texas and Oklahoma for leaving.
Right.
But if they fray and go their separate ways, then the Big 12 disbands, and then that money, not going to get it because it won't be a Big 12. But man, if the Pac-12 comes calling, accept that invitation, and it just what happened, it'd be the culmination of what I heard 10, 11 years ago. There was discussion then about a potential U of H to the Pac-12 scenario. The irony then is that the teams included involved Oklahoma and Oklahoma State and U of H.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting because I was thinking about this yesterday and earlier today. U of H, in terms of the Olympic sports, it'd be tough on the student assets, the travel.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, youngsters, they don't care about y'all anyway. You know, so let's be real. They care about football and men's basketball. They don't care about y'all. You know, but they'd find a way. You get more money, TV contracts, charter more flights. They'd make it happen. They'd try to do something to make it happen. It'd be tough on softball. They're struggling conference right now. Track program would be nice.
Yeah.
Against Pac-12.
It'd be nice for swimming.
It'd be swimming. It'd be tough on football overall. I mean, they could do better against some of the schools, but that's beating the conference.
Yeah, for a selfish standpoint, I mean, men's basketball just have to play UCLA and those teams, USC, Oregon, every year. That'd be some good games.
That'd be great matchups. I guess it'd be a Pac-12 North, Pac-12 South, extended. You'd have U of H, Arizona State, UCLA, USC, Cal, Stanford in the South, and then you have KU, Colorado, Utah, Oregon State, Washington State in the North. That can work. That'd be fun basketball. Playing UCLA every year. You could hype up. Well, the game of the century.
Game of the century.
Blah 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 blah. Over and over again. You can hear that ad nauseum. But
yeah,
the next couple of weeks, Commissioner of the Pac-12 says they will make a decision if they will intend to expand or not. We're going to close it out. Going on almost 2 hours here. Kim, real quick, because I touched on it with Andy before you joined us. Just tell the folks a bit of your history in sports journalism, sports media coverage.
So, wow. So I've covered sports for 30 years. I started when I was 12.
Wow.
I have to just throw that out there because people start adding up. Yeah, and so I covered the Rockets 2 championships. I covered the Houston Oilers when Warren Moon was here, when they drafted Steve McNair. Obviously, when they drafted, and now the Texans drafted Deshaun Watson. Then I moved around the country a bit. I worked in Illinois, and I worked in D.C., and I worked in New Orleans. So most of my career has been in television, a little bit in print. And I've covered mostly professional sports and some big college stuff. I don't do high school. Occasionally I'll cover like something that's like just some story that's a real standout feature. Cover a lot of tennis and boxing. So yeah, I kind of run the gamut of what I've done in the business. So in a nutshell, without just going through my resume, done some college sideline games, done some network stuff, and worked in television for pretty much every major network except for the CW. So NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox.
And then weren't you part of history? You and may rest in peace, Max Edison?
Yeah, we used to do a show called Sports Timeout. We had a daily sports talk show, and it was way before there was ever a his and hers on ESPN. And we hosted a live daily show, I guess in the 90s, on the then KYOK, which is back, but it's different. And so, yeah, and I don't think that was the first time for that kind of pairing. I did the Comets radio broadcast when they were here. I was part of that broadcast team. But yeah, did the show with Max. Absolutely.
How can folks find you on the internet?
So you can find me on Twitter at Kim Y. Davis. That's what you see on the screen. You can find me on Instagram at kim.y.davis. And you can find me at Chalk Talk on Facebook, Chalk Talk with Kim. And so I do a live show every Tuesday at 11. It's live on Facebook, on YouTube, and also LinkedIn and Twitter. So obviously Kim Y. Davis is my website, kimydavis.com. You can find me there. So I'm pretty much Kim Y. Davis every place because Kim Davis is pretty popular and was gone. So I use my middle initial.
Thank you very much for joining us, sis. I appreciate it. Will, how can folks
Thanks
find
for having me.
you?
Again, thanks for the opportunity, Kris. You can find me at Will Gibson 7 on Twitter and Instagram, WTGsports.com, and also the WTG Sports Facebook page, and Will Knows, the Will Knows podcast on Facebook as well.
Andy, how can folks find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Twitter at Yanez_5. Also, be sure to check out the podcast Pawd, Slama, Jama, covering UH athletics. And I teased it last week. We weren't able to get it done last week, but now it appears we have a confirmation date. And I don't want to say it because you can't guarantee it until you record it.
Yeah, don't say it.
But we feel like we have a good guest for our upcoming episode this Thursday. And once we do record, I'll for sure tweet it out. So follow me on Twitter and Pawd, Slama, Jama for that announcement.
Cool. Thank you very much, all three of you. I'm Kris Gardner, host of Folks Talking Sports, part of Houston Roundball Review. Getting close to football season. Going to have some Texans talk with AD Moore on his YouTube channel. Hopefully in a few weeks getting that started. But I am at HoustonRoundballReview.com, Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. Shout out to everybody who commented on YouTube during this show. We appreciate it. I may do something, I don't know about daily, during the NBA season, doing something with the Rockets, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe in the mornings, like a recap of the night before, or then preview the upcoming game, something like that. But I want that. I'll be on YouTube with comments from the fans. So get that going probably in October. Tune in for that. But Folks Talking Sports, we'll be doing this at least once a week for as long as we can. In college basketball season, we got a sponsor lined up for that. So thank you very much for watching.
College football.
Well, we got Will going to talk some college football, some legit.
The Ohio State.
Yeah, the Ohio State. Yes, because, we need the local team to actually do something worth a damn for us to talk about them on a consistent basis. But I'm Kris Gardner, KG of the Houston Roundball Review, Twitter, VHR Review. Everyone, to Kim Davis, Kim Y. Davis, Willy Gibson, and Yanez. I'm Kris Gardner. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Y'all take care. Be safe. And I'm not sure when we're going to be back. Next Sunday, guys. Y'all good with that?
Yeah. That works for me.
7 o'clock, I guess. Kim, I'm trying to get you or AD or Tamer to join our next show. So I'll talk to you about that. We'll work it all out.
Okay.
But thank you very much for joining, Kim. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good hanging out with you all.
Appreciate it. We're learning and growing as we do this. Get better for the next show. That's the goal.
Hey, and you're going to have to talk about the Astros sometime too.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here.
Can we not talk about today's game? But
Yeah, that's why you're here. You can talk about the Astros. Bring it up. Feel free, because baseball ain't my thing. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Because at some point, I want to talk some boxing in the future. Yeah. May talk some Premier League,
MMA.
That too. It's just sports. Folks Talking Sports. I want to get all that in the discussions at some point in the future. We ran along. I want to talk about Pacquiao getting thumped last night. That's another discussion for another time. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll take care. Be safe. See you.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.